So when I was like 21 or 22, I got invited to this party, and it was this girl I'd gone to high school with, and she was really cute. And I was like, hell yeah. Because like all through high school, she dated one guy, and he was a friend, she was a friend. I was like, I'm not gonna try and interfere or nothing like that. So, never even really thought about it too much. Just like, oh yeah, she's cute. And then shortly after high school, they broke up. And it was a little hush hush for a while. But then, after a few months, he comes out and was like, hey, totally gay. Like, vagina's not for me. Kind of found that out the hard way, but I love the dick. I'm like, oh, okay, so that's what's up. And, I just want to say, like, I got nothing against gay people. I don't care. I'm not homophobic. What you do, that's your business. Like, who the fuck am I to say what you should do? In fact, like, me and that dude lived together for a year. It was like me, him, my roommate, or my girlfriend, and another roommate who was a lesbian chick. So, like, I was just surrounded by gay, and I didn't give a fuck. The only thing I ever complained about was, like, can we watch something that isn't a musical? Please? Please. Please. But I don't really care. But after they broke up, I was in a relationship. So, we just kind of like, oh, whatever. Never really crossed my mind. And then I got out of that relationship. She was in a relationship with this other guy, and he was a really nice dude. So I was like, okay, cool, whatever. But then they broke up just a few months before this party. And I just, like, oh shit, she's single. Hell yeah. And then she invites me to the party. I'm like, hell yeah, let's do this shit. So, I had to have my roommate drop me off because, like, my car was in the shop or something. And so we're catching up, hanging out, having a good old time. Like, hell yeah. And I feel like things are going pretty good. And, but a couple hours go by and we're just having a blast. I'm like, alright, it's getting kind of late. I do have to work tomorrow. So I shoot my roommate a text, like, hey man, can you come pick me up? And nothing. Like, oh, dude, come on, please tell me that you're not, like, passed out or drunk. Nothing. Like, fuck. And she's like, hey, what's up? I was like, well, my roommate isn't answering. Like, he's supposed to, come pick me up. She's like, oh, well, that sucks. Like, I can run you home. That'd be fine. Like, no, look, this is your party. This is your house. You gotta stay. Like, it's kind of a thing. Like, it's not that far. I'll just walk. It's no big deal. She's like, oh no, I don't know. It's Halloween night. People are crazy. Like, no, it's fine. But her second ex-boyfriend was here at the party, and I guess they're still cool, obviously. And he overhears this, and he's like, hey man, I was getting ready to go soon anyways. If you'd like, it's not that far, he said, I'll just take you home. I'm like, dude, thank you, you're a lifesaver. Because I really didn't feel like fucking walking. So, like, alright, I say my goodbyes, give him a hug, like, hell yeah. We hop in the car, start rolling towards my house. We're just sitting there and like, hey, dude, thanks so much. So yeah, it's cool. I'm like, I'm kind of curious, like, what happened there? Because, like, you two seem to be getting along really great, together for a little while, and then just, like, poof, like that. He's like, well, I haven't really been telling a lot of people, but turns out, like, dude, I'm gay. I was like, what? It's like, yeah, I'd never had sex with a woman before. She's cute, she's very attractive, just, like, halfway through, it's like, no, this is not for me. God, that's crazy, man. Like, well, be who you are. Like, as long as that's what makes you happy, that's cool, man. I was like, yeah. So he drops me off. Like, thank you so much. And I go upstairs and go to my room and I lie down, and I'm just thinking about that though. Like, dude, that's two guys that have been with the same girl, and then they both just come out of the closet like that. Like, and now I'm talking to this girl. I'm like, fuck. Like, nope, can't risk it. Like, that's weird, but I'm not gonna risk that shit. So I just like kind of like draw next through her name on the mental checklist. I go to bed. This next day, Warren comes over and me and my roommate are hanging out, and I get a call from this girl. It's like, hey, you left something in my house. Just text me your address. I'll swing by and I'll drop it off for you. Like, oh, yeah, that's nice, I guess. Thank you. So I shoot her the address. She pulls up, so I go outside to talk to her. And we stand up, just out there 10, 15 minutes. Like, oh, I had a lot of fun last night. I was like, yeah, me too. Yeah, it was a good party. Throw a good party. It's like, yeah, we should definitely hang out more. Spend a little bit more time together. I'm like, yeah, totally. Well, we'll do that. We'll hang out. But hey, look, I got a friend over. I got company. Like, I don't want to seem rude to you, but it like kind of could get back in there. It's like, oh yeah, no, it's okay. Well, all right, I'll see you around. She goes in for this big old hug, and I'm just like, yep, I'll see you later. And she gets her car and just run back inside. And more of my roommate are like, all right, man, like, we know you're stupid, but that girl was totally into you. And I'm just like caught up in this moment. So instead of doing like this semi-rational thing and maybe being like, hey, look, okay, two guys, no, I just blurred out at them like, I can't be gay. And then they're just looking at me weird, and I'm just like, I'm too caught up. So I'm just like, look, the first guy, and then he's like, oh, this is what makes me happy. And like, that could be a fluke, man. That could be a fluke, okay? Shit happens. But then two guys? Second guy's like, yeah, no, me too. Like, no, I can't. I can't do it. I can't risk it, man. I'm out. And what's bad is, that's not even the strangest reason why I've been like no to a woman. And this one just happened not that long ago, just a couple months ago. I shoot pool, and I was part of the league, and one of the people I shoot with from time to time, her sister started coming up and hanging out and shooting with us, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And she would always be like, hey, you should give me a ride on the motorcycle sometime. Like, okay, like, as soon as we finish up, like, I'll give you a ride, that's fine. But then she always had to leave or whatever until, one night she's like, hey, no, I'm here all night. Like, we should really hang out. And you should definitely give me that ride. I'm like, alright, cool. So we finish up shooting pool, and, her sister takes her car and, goes home, and I ride around a little bit with her and take her home. And then we just, all three of us ended up staying out there, hanging out for a little bit. And the sister's like, alright, so it's just me and her, and we're standing out there, and we're talking and talking. And we were actually out there for a few hours. Like, alright, love to stay and chat, but I gotta roll out. And she's like, yeah, okay. So then, me and her started hanging out. We'd go out, have a drink or two, shoot a couple games with just me and her. And we're talking, and just one thing that keeps coming up is, oh, my boyfriend, ever since he got diagnosed with his disease, he doesn't like to help around the house, and he hasn't had a job in over a year. Because the disease makes it hard for him to get a job. I understand that. But then he won't file for disability or anything. So I'm having to pay all the bills by myself. but he doesn't do anything around the house. I'm like, yeah, that really sucks. Like, yeah, it's just, we're trying to work on it. I'm like, yeah. A few times we hang out. And then one of these times I can tell, like, something's different. And, we're going to leave, and she's like, hey, like, let me get a hug. I was like, yeah, sure. Give her a hug. But then she's just, like, wrapped around me and holding me, and she's like, I always feel so safe in your arms. I just love hanging out with you and talking with you. And the whole time she's just pressed against my chest. And I'm, like, looking straight down into her cleavage, and I'm just like, yes. And she's like, look, oh, me and my fiance, we're breaking up. I was like, oh shit, really? She's like, yeah. These last few weeks I've been trying, but it's just not working. He's not willing to make any changes, so I've got to do what's right for me. I'm like, yeah, like, shit, yeah. She's like, well, we've been having a lot of fun. We should keep hanging out. I'm like, oh shit, hell yeah, that's what's up. So I'm like, kind of, sitting there chit chatting. I'm like, hey, like, it's not too much. What's he even diagnosed with that he can't work or do anything? She's like, oh, he was diagnosed with Huntington's. And, like, I immediately stopped. For those of you who don't know, just two quick things. One, Huntington's is a very debilitating disease. It causes mental and some physical deterioration. It's kind of like if you mixed Alzheimer's and a little bit of Parkinson's together. It's awful. I'm not going to make fun of that disease because it's really awful. But the second thing is that this is also a disease that runs in my family, and why I know a lot about it. It took my grandmother from us, and so when she tells me this, I just stop. I'm like, wow, I can't sleep with this girl because the only reason that she's single is because this dude's got Huntington's disease, and I know how karma works. If I sleep with her because of that, I got that shit next week. I'm not even gonna, like, go to a doctor. Like, some doctor's gonna, like, trip and, like, oh, accidentally got a blood sample and dropped it into this machine, and oh, look at the results, you've got Huntington's, dude. Like, fuck! Like, I just know in my head, my heart, my soul, like, I can't sleep with this girl because I'm going to get this disease. And it's not even so much me. And I guess this is the really weird part. But, like, it's not even me. Because that's, okay, I make that choice. I deal with the consequences of that action. Whatever. I'll take it. That was my call. But it's a genetic disorder. And if I have it, my mom has to have it. And I can't do that to my mom. Like, maybe if it was my dad would be understanding. It was like, oh, well, boys gotta get laid. Make sure you do it right, son. I'm out. But I can't do that to my mom. Like, what am I gonna do when I visit with my mom, and she's just sitting there in her chair. Like, hey, Mom. Hey, yeah, Mom, it's Andy. I'm really sorry about this. Mom, I was in a dry spell, okay? Like, I was in a dry spell. The pussy was really good, Mom. I'm sorry. The pussy was good. Yeah, Mom, the pussy was really good, okay? Like, fuck that. I can't do that to my mom. And the really bad part is, I tell my mom and my older sister this, because they're like, what's up with, like, just out of nowhere, you're not talking to this girl anymore. I'm like, I'm gonna just spill it out onto them, and they're like, yeah, no, that makes sense. Like, I wouldn't have fucked her either. Like, good on you for looking out for mom.